Well, you thought you'd got away from me. This is the second of my videos today on roses. So these are all the clippings that have just come off the rose I'm in a million. Shame to put them in the bin, wouldn't it? You know, think of all that cutting material. So as I say, well, said in my previous video, we're now mid-November, so perfect time for doing rose cuttings. You can do rose cuttings other times of the year, but you know, you get a really good success rate this time of year. In the springtime, you'd be doing cuttings with what are called softwood cuttings. So they're cuttings, when you look at them, you know, they bend around. You can sort of almost bend them back on themselves, like you know, like that. They're so flexible, and because the sap is rising, because the plants are growing, they will root pretty quickly. But when you're dealing with softwood cuttings, let me try and show you, you're dealing with stems that are really thin, you know, thinner than this. This isn't quite softwood material, but it's, you know, close to it, I suppose. So you're dealing with really thin stems, you know, quite often they'll be smaller than the thickness of a pencil, which, as I just said, they're not really good enough for bearing a nice strong shoots on and flowers. At this time of year, well, you've already had all that spring summer growth going into the stems, producing this good thickness wood. And this, whilst it's still green, is semi-ripened wood. Going on from that would be, see that darker stems there? That's the ripened wood. That's really, you know, really hard to propagate from. There's not so much hormone in that, but something like that, semi-ripened, perfect for cutting material. So like I say, we've just cut that off the plant. Now we just need to do a bit of prep work to it. So let me have a look. First thing you'll notice, it's still got a leaf on it. Whip that off. That section there is probably about a foot in length, so a bit too long really. You'll see here, so where we've cut it off would have been obviously just above a leaf joint, but for cutting purposes or propagation purposes, you want to do a prune just under a leaf joint, as that is where the biggest amount of rooting hormone is going to be available. So that is your cutting. This one's even got a shoot there. So I'll make it nice and simple. Trying to do this one-handed. Hormone rooting powder. We know that because it says it. Dip it in. Now, dip it in. Make sure you know which way up it's going, so the bud's facing upwards. Because I've cut back the rose now, and I know what's down here, I've given this a little dig over anyway, this little section. I'm just going to use this area as a bit of a nursery bed. So I've buried the cutting 1.5-ish, so push it down just so it finds a bit of firm ground, and then firming around it. So what I tend to do is firming around it so it's up to the next bud, you can see. So then that will mean that you'll get good strong root zone development, and you'll get a couple of shoots that will form with root zone on it. So that's one cutting, and I'm going to do a few more now. And here you have it. So as you can see, I've done half a dozen cuttings. Got this raised up soil just to get us up to the next set or two of buds, and those will be quite happy in there over a winter period. And it's not going to be a quick process, not like trying to root some perennials or something, but roses, or these cuttings, will be rooted through by the time we get to the summer period, so then you'll be able to lift those and pot them up to form your own plants. And I'll show you one I did earlier. Now you got to excuse the shape on this because it's a pretty poor specimen, but I did do a few other roses last year, so 2019, and you can see, you know, that was the cutting that I started with, and it's put on some fairly decent growth. It's been cut back a couple of times this year, but actually this rose is Rosa Gorgeous. So again, that's featured in a previous video. Well, it might have even been October's video for the calendar. You know, flowers in the looking good in October. But anyway, I've digressed a little bit as usual. So that was a cutting I did. I've planted out a few of these in other people's gardens. Got one in my garden itself, but yeah, it took yeah, a good probably 8-9 months to root, but free plants, isn't it? Free plants from basically just cutting back something that you'd normally cut back anyway. So yeah, keep watching this space and see how those cuttings progress. So once again, thanks for watching the video. Hope you found it of interest, hope you find it useful. Keep subscribing. It's great to see new people subscribing to my channel. Ask any questions you want, and keep enjoying your garden. You know, we are November, but it's always something to do. So till next time, see you soon. Bye.